Why the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the Super Bowl in 2019. Make sure to stay tuned to find out why. What's up everybody, it's JT Sportsman back to you guys with another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about why the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the Super Bowl in 2019. Before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. Now you guys see that in my background. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I hope this video clears up all the negatives and things like that, because I know I've been doing these videos for every single team. But this video, I really mean it. I really believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the Super Bowl in 2019. Now, a lot of people want to count us out because we lost Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I don't know why a lot of people are still talking about us losing Le'Veon Bell, because we went a whole season without him. James Conner was a Pro Bowler. Had the best offensive line in football. So what does that tell you? Jalen Samuels, at this time last year, was a fourth-string running back going into training camp. Had nearly 172 total yards against the New England Patriots. So what does that tell you? How good Le'Veon Bell is? Or how Le'Veon Bell benefited from one of the best offensive lines in all of football? I mean, James Conner had success. Jalen Samuels had success behind the offensive line, so I don't know. But I don't know why people are still talking about that being a loss. We had a Pro Bowl caliber halfback this season. Antonio Brown, okay, we lost him. But how many other good receivers have come and gone out of Pittsburgh? Tron Randall, Santonio Holmes, Hines Ward, Mike Wallace, and you can add Antonio Brown to that mix. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to step up this year. We have a talented group of wide receivers. Although we lost Antonio Brown, and it's going to take us a couple of weeks to find out who is really going to be our number 2 wide receiver. We got Juju Smith-Schuster. We got Dante Moncrief, who is a very good deep threat target. This guy's like, 6'4", runs like a 4'4". That guy's a freak. He was held back by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now he's going to be with Ben Roethlisberger, a quarterback who led the NFL in passing yards last season, which is something that people seem not to bring up. We got James Washington. He didn't have that good of a rookie season, but a lot of wide receivers struggled their rookie season. James Washington could be a guy who steps up big for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2019. Then you got Deontay Johnson. You got Eli Rogers and Ron Switzer, who both of those guys are very solid slot receivers. So this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is still going to be explosive, despite the loss of Antonio Brown. Ben Roethlisberger is actually going to be better without Antonio Brown because he won't be forcing the ball. We lost 2 games this season because Ben Roethlisberger forced Antonio Brown the ball. On that Denver game on the goal line when he got picked off by that defensive lineman, and against the Oakland Raiders. So Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a lot better. A lot of people think Ben Roethlisberger is declining. This is a guy who led the NFL in passing yards last season. Ben Roethlisberger has put up the last 4 seasons the best statistical numbers that he has had ever in his career over the past 4 seasons. Ben Roethlisberger is still an elite quarterback. He's still a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, he might have lost a little bit of a step, but Ben Roethlisberger is still a quarterback who can still carry this franchise to the Super Bowl. Then we look at the tight end. We got Vance McDonald. He's very athletic. And the offensive line, we had, according to Pro Football Focus, the best offensive line in football. We look at left tackle, Alejandro Villanueva, one of the best offensive tackles in the game. You got left guard, Ramon Foster, one of the best offensive guards in the NFL. You got center Marquise Pouncey, one of the best centers in the NFL. You got right guard, David DeCastro, one of the best offensive guards in the NFL. Then you got right tackle, Matt Fiedler, who was very solid in filling in for Marcus Gilbert, who we traded to the Arizona Cardinals. And a lot of people think Marcus Gilbert was a loss, even though Marcus Gilbert hasn't played in a full 16-game season of 3 seasons? That's the last time Marcus Gilbert has played in a full 16-game season, and he has also missed over 16 games in the last 2 seasons. So Matt Fiedler is a guy who's also going to be pretty solid at that right tackle spot. So the Pittsburgh Steelers on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL. They might not be top 5, but it definitely will be top 10 this season. And then we look at the halfback position. You got James Conner. We saw what James Conner did. If he was able to stay healthy, he would have neared Le'Veon Bell's 2017-2016 numbers. James Conner, good catching the ball like the backfield. He can line up and play a little bit of receiver. Not as good as Le'Veon Bell, but he's pretty solid there. He can do everything that Le'Veon Bell can do behind a very talented offensive line. You got Jalen Samuels there. Jalen Samuels is a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. He's good catching the ball out the backfield as well. Then you got Benny Snell. Benny Snell, we drafted him in this year's NFL draft. I like Benny Snell. He's a throwback halfback to what the Pittsburgh Steelers used to have, a traditional throwback. Power back, he's not going to beat you with his speed. He's not going to do anything crazy. No athletic juice, anything like that. He's a guy who you can give the ball to downhill and let him go from there. He can run guys over. A throwback halfback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this Pittsburgh Steelers offense, as long as Ben Roethlisberger stays healthy, it's going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL. It might not be top 5, but it will definitely be top 10. Then on the defense side of the ball, a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans think that this will be the best defense that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had. And I believe it. Because talent-wise, this is probably the best defense that we have had on paper in the last couple of seasons since, 2011. This is probably the best defense that we have on paper. We have defensive ends Cam Hayward, who is one of the best defensive ends in football. And we have Stephon Tuitt, who is pretty solid as well. Then we have defensive tackle Javon Hargrave. Then we got linebackers Bud Dupree. Now, Bud Dupree, yeah, he's not a great pass rusher, but he's a guy who's able to get about 5-6 sacks every once in a while. So Bud Dupree is pretty solid there. He's able to give you a little bit of value there at that outside linebacker position for the Pittsburgh Steelers when it comes to rushing the passer. Then you also got Vince Williams, and Vince Williams was okay. Then you got Devin Bush, who we drafted, traded up with the Denver Broncos, 10th overall for him. He was the second best linebacker in his draft class. Reminds me a lot of Raquan Smith and Devin White. He's basically the same player that Devin White is, just a little bit shorter. Devin Bush, he can cover linebacker, he can cover running backs, he can cover tight ends, which is the biggest thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers have struggled with the last couple of seasons. So now the Pittsburgh Steelers have a linebacker, the biggest need that they've had in the last 2 seasons. And now we got a guy who can cover tight ends. You remember that Gronkowski game? What was it? 2017 when the New England Patriots, Sean Davis. Last drive of the game, Sean Davis dropped a wide open interception. And Tom Brady threw it to Gronkowski for the whole entire drive. And we lost that game. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers have a linebacker that can match up with some of the best tight ends in the NFL. Then we also got Mark Barron in free agency. Now, a lot of people don't really consider that a big signing or anything like that, or impressive signing. But Mark Barron is also a pretty good linebacker when it comes to coverage. So we can put him in the dime and nickel packages and things like that. And then the last player, I say the best for last, TJ Watt. I thought TJ Watt should have been a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year this year because he was outstanding. Not only was he able to make plays, getting after the quarterback, but he also recovered a couple of fumbles. He caught a couple of interceptions. This is a guy who can do everything. I think he's one of the most underrated defensive players in all the NFL. Then we got to look at the secondary. Joe Hayden, he's solid. We can win the Super Bowl with Joe Hayden being our number 1 corner. He was solid last season. Then you got Steven Nelson. I thought Steven Nelson was one of the biggest underrated free agent signings this offseason. A lot of people are considering it, talking about Steven Nelson isn't that good. He was the best cornerback on the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and the Kansas City Chiefs defense was terrible when it came to stopping the pass. So Steven Nelson is better than the last couple of starting cornerbacks we started the previous season with. What, Artie Burns? Artie Burns sucked. Now we got a guy who's better than Artie Burns. Then we also have Mike Hilton, who should be playing on nickelback corner. He had a very solid season as well. He exceeded my expectations and exceeded a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fan base expectations. And then we got to look at the second. We got to look at the safety position. Sean Davis is a very solid safety, and Terrell Edmonds, his rookie year was pretty okay. Going into year 2, he's looking to have a big leap there. So this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. A lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans think that this is the best defense that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had on paper in a very long time, and I agree with that as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And then we got to look at the whole team in general. People think just because we lost one player, Antonio Brown, that's going to stop us from winning the Super Bowl. It hasn't been a team since the Indianapolis Colts in 2006 to win a Super Bowl for top 5 wide receiver. The last decade, no team has won a Super Bowl for top 5 wide receiver. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a blue-collar franchise. They're a model of consistency. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the best franchises in the NFL. And I strongly believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be competing in the Super Bowl this year, staircase to 7, and will win the Super Bowl and will reclaim the throne of the NFL, having the most Super Bowls in the NFL. And this is why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the Super Bowl in 2019. Let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.